Hello everyone. Once again welcome to our physics class. Hope you all are fine over there. Children, in the previous session we had discussed about the Ampere circuit law and its applications. Today we are going to discuss the last concept of this chapter, that is moving coil galvanometer. You had already studied about galvanometer and its purpose in your class 10 physics. Why do we use galvanometer in a circuit? Yes, to detect the presence of current. Also, galvanometer can measure very small values of current. In the presence of current, galvanometer needle deflects. At the same time, the galvanometer needle stops its deflection in the absence of current. So today, we are going to discuss more about galvanometer, its principle, construction and working. Also, we can study how this galvanometer can be converted into ammeter and voltmeter with some necessary modifications. Okay, so let's start with today's session, my dear children. Children, as we discussed in our introductory video, let's discuss about moving coil galvanometer. So what do you mean by moving coil galvanometer? You are familiar with this term galvanometer. Moving coil galvanometer is an electromagnetic device that can measure small values of current. It is also known as Western galvanometer. And what is the difference between galvanometer and ammeter? An ammeter can measure the amount of current flowing through the circuit. But at the same time, galvanometer can't measure the current flowing through the circuit, but it can detect the presence of current flowing through the circuit. It can measure only small values of current. Okay, it can just detect whether a current is flowing through the circuit or not. And what is the principle behind this galvanometer? It works on the principle that when a current loop is placed in an external magnetic field, it experiences torque, and the value of torque can be changed by changing the current in the loop. So, in the previous session we had discussed torque acting on a rectangular coil placed in a magnetic field. So, whenever a rectangular coil is placed in a magnetic field and whenever current is flowing through that coil, it will experience a torque. And due to that torque, the coil starts to rotate. So, the same principle is behind the working of our moving coil galvanometer. Next, let's discuss about the construction of a moving coil galvanometer. When you look in the interior part of the galvanometer, that means when you open a galvanometer and just look into it, you can see some components inside the galvanometer. So, let's be familiar with the components of the galvanometer. And this figure shows the interior structure of a galvanometer. So what are the important parts of a galvanometer? Galvanometer consists of a rectangular coil. So this is our rectangular coil. And this rectangular coil is made up of many number of turns. It's not a single turn coil. It consists of many number of turns. This rectangular coil is placed between the pole pieces of a horseshoe magnet. It's a permanent horseshoe magnet. And the direction of the magnetic field is from north to south. Here you can see it is a concave shaped magnet. See, the faces or the surfaces of the magnet are concave shaped. This concave shaped magnet ensures radial magnetic field. And what is the importance of this radial magnetic field? This radial magnetic field ensures maximum torque is experienced by that coil. So that is the importance of the radial magnetic field. Radial magnetic field is provided by this horseshoe magnet, this concave shaped magnet, and this radial magnetic field ensures that maximum torque is experienced by this coil. Okay. Then, inside that coil, a soft iron core is there. The coil is wound over a soft iron core. And what is the importance of the soft iron core? This soft iron core increases the strength of the magnetic field produced. So that's why a soft iron core has been introduced inside the coil. Now, one end of the rectangular coil is attached to a spring, and that spring is pivoted or fixed at a point. Okay, so the one end of the rectangular coil is attached to a spring. Can you see the structure? This spiral structure is the spring. So one end of the rectangular coil is attached to the spring, and other end of the rectangular coil is attached to the support. Okay. Next, there will be a scale and a pointer. So attached to this coil, there is a scale and there is a pointer, and this pointer is attached to a scale. And we usually see this scale on the outer surface of the galvanometer. And on the outer surface of the galvanometer, we can see some divisions. On the middle, we have 0, and on to the right of the 0, we have 30 divisions. To the left of the 0, we have 30 divisions. That is galvanometer. Okay. So here, attached to the coil, there is a pointer, and the pointer is attached to a scale. So whenever the coil rotates, the pointer will deflect, and that deflection is, or the amount of that deflection is measured with the help of this scale. So if the deflection is more, or if the torque experienced is more, the pointer deflects more, and that deflection can be measured with the help of this scale. So this is about the construction of moving coil galvanometer. Children, next let's discuss about the working of moving coil galvanometer. So as I told you before, moving coil galvanometer works on the principle of torque experienced by the coil, a rectangular coil, when it is placed in a magnetic field. So here also we are considering this rectangular coil. Whenever galvanometer is connected in a circuit, current flows through the galvanometer, and the same current flows through the rectangular coil. So whenever current flows through the rectangular coil, it will experience a torque since it is placed in a magnetic field. And that torque expression is N I A B. You remember this expression? We had discussed it in our previous session in the topic torque experienced by a rectangular coil. So this was the expression, and where capital N is the number of turns of the coil, I is the current flowing through the coil, A is the area of the coil, and B is the magnetic field produced. Next, whenever current flows through the coil, a torque is experienced, and you know the coil is attached to a spring. One end of the coil is attached to a spring. That spring provides a counter torque or a restoring torque that balances this magnetic torque NIAB. So this torque NIAB can be considered as a magnetic torque because the magnetic field is responsible for that torque. And whenever this torque is produced, the spring will produce a counter torque or a restoring torque which balances this magnetic torque, and that restoring torque expression is C theta. This is the expression for that restoring torque, and C is the torque produced per unit twist, and theta is the deflection. Okay, so C is the restoring torque per unit twist, and theta is the deflection produced. So these two torque are balanced. Hence we can write NIAB. This torque is the magnetic torque. It is balanced by our restoring torque C theta. From this, find the expression for theta, deflection. Theta is equal to NIAB by C. Okay, so this is the deflection produced. And again we can rearrange this expression like this. Theta equal to NAB by C into I. NAB by C into I, because NAB and C will be constants. So from this it is very clear the deflection produced will be directly proportional to current I. because all other terms in the bracket are constants. Hence theta varies only with the current. So whenever current increases, the deflection produced theta also increases. Whenever current decreases, the deflection produced theta also decreases. So the deflection produced is directly proportional to the current. When more current flows through the circuit, the pointer deflects more, which indicates a greater read, which is indicated by a large reading in the galvanometer. And when very small current flows through the circuit, the pointer deflects less, and which is indicated by a small value in the galvanometer. So this is about the working of a moving coil galvanometer.